All right, welcome back to another episode of the Real Life Trading Pivot Podcast. Back again with my co-host Dean Bradshaw and a very special guest. This is part 2 with Andy Murray from TradeNation. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of the book. I think it's called The Wire or Trading the Wire. I think it's called The Wire. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I think it was back in the 80s, 90s, something like that, where, or I guess maybe like late 80s, early 90s, where like a lot of traders were trading now more digitally as opposed to phoning in their actual orders, things like that. And it was a couple guys who took, they got a direct internet connection from their place directly into the Chicago place where they have the transactions, and they were, because that little, it was like half a second quicker data feed coming through, where they were able to get just quicker. They were ahead of everything. They were able to just rake in tons of money because they had the quicker information before everybody else. In the brokerage world, and I know you guys might not handle this directly, but do you see anything as far as nowadays difference from some of the bigger, because I know you dealt with business to business and now more business to consumer. Do you see a difference of how the bigger guys, the more hedge funds, the hedge fund guys get their data, get their feed, get their information, as opposed to maybe retail traders? Do you see disadvantages from the retail end to what hedge funds use?
Absolutely. It's something you've got to be very careful of, and it depends how the broker gets their pricing, because the world of data and pricing is quite a complex one on our side of the fence. To go and get data directly from exchanges is expensive. So you have some data providers who have the agreements with the exchanges, and then they will pass on that to others, and they might pass it to others, and every time there's the passing over of data, there's that tiny delay. And there are very, very sharp people in the world who will have their system set up so they will get a feed. There's been, as you just said, that they actually go and physically set up an office next door to LD4, or is it the NY4, the data centers, yep, where they know the pricing is coming from, because they're going to get it that much quicker. But it's something that you've got to be wary of if you are setting up a brokerage, put it that way.
Yep. So with a retail trader having that slight disadvantage, how would you say a retail trader, from clients that you have or just in general, how does the playing field even out? How does the retailer keep up with some of these bigger guys?
If the retail trader is scalping, I mean, we're talking milliseconds here. I mean, unless you've got a sort of a latency arbitrage strategy whereby you're trying to get prices with one broker that are slightly different to what's out there, I think the price the timing is very, very negligible for a retail trader. I mean, it depends on the strategy of that retail trader, but I think it's negligible, to be honest, Dan.
Gotcha. Okay.
Awesome. So, listen, I know that we have to keep it professional, but I really want to delve into, like, can we touch on golf? Because why not, right? Andy, would you play off? And how much time do you get for golf? I'm always intrigued when I get people who are in our profession, and I always like to find out how much golf are you playing? Am I going to be really jealous or envious, or am I going to be like, well, you don't play as much as me, so we can be friends?
I mean, this is a very relaxed chat, right? It's a very relaxed chat. I'm going to just tell you a story. You're going to think I'm a complete bandit. So I've been playing golf. My parents played golf, and they're golf enthusiasts. I've played since a very young age, but I've never been a member of a club. And my first handicap given to me was 12. And that was because I was playing an event the next day, and I was on course, and I needed a handicap. The handicap secretary saw me hit an absolute pearl of a drive. He said, mate, whatever cards you put in, you're not going to be off more than 12. And so 12 I was on for a long, long time. I'm a member of a golf society, and every year there's about 40 of us that go away and we play for the Serpent Trophy. And I've never had a chance of winning it. And I've just thought that's just too far away. Anyway, during lockdown, I couldn't play golf because no one could. But when golf courses opened up again, you couldn't play golf because all the members were playing, and you had to become a member. Someone persuaded me to become a member. I did that. I had to put 3 cards in I had to get a handicap. I got a handicap of 21. Yeah, and with that handicap of 21, I went to this golfing event, and I won't tell you how. I basically won it with a 30-foot putt on the path. Dan, if you don't play golf, this probably means nothing to you. But I was playing off 21, and I net birded the 17th. I drove the green on the 17th, par 4, and I birded that, and I birded the 18th with a 35 foot putt. And I got called a bandit.
I can see why. I can see why. It's not unjust, that comment.
Well, no, I mean, the society has some fines, and my fine was the fine master. He stood up. He goes, Andy, playing off 21. My grandmother plays off 21. 50 quid in the pot, please. So what I've done, Dean, is I've gone back to the club, and I've had to put in a few cards, and I put in a card in which I did play 12 over, and they put it in the machine. And you know what my new handicap is?
Go on.
9.5.
That's pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty good.
No, but yes, that's wrong. That's wrong. Sorry, Dan, I've gone off the tangent. I'm talking about golf, and maybe a lot of the listeners, got nothing to do with golf.
No, but I try to bring up golf every so often, Andy. That's why people keep emailing the show to try and get me off. But no, they don't really.
What's your handicap?
Well, I have a similar story. I've always been told that I play off 18. That's when I was in England, I played off 18, so it's fine. And then when I joined the golf course out here in Spain, I joined the society, and they do, we have so how we all play to make it even. I don't want to bore everyone to tears, but we have a structure. I can't even think what it's called now, like the Abbott's Rule or whatever it is, right? So anyway, played off 18, and I get a certain amount of shots on certain holes. Anyway, I ended up winning the competition because really I should be playing off 12. Which is where you was. So
I was just about to say to the listeners, what Dean's saying here is just all the attributes of a bandit.
It wasn't up for me to release that information. Someone told me, just if you was that in England, then play. I've continuously played since then and improved. So, but the reason why I do like to bring up golf, Andy, and it does always seem like I go off on a tangent, but I really liken golf to trading. Like seriously, like sometimes. It's like you feel like you're doing the same thing in your swing over and over again, and sometimes get varied results, right? And I don't know what I did wrong there. I look at it to trading. So sometimes I'll look at a chart, I'll be like, okay, do my technical analysis. Me personally, I'll just go 15-minute chart, look for areas of interest for me, straight down into a minute chart, take a trade, and it might not work out. And I look back and think, would I do anything again? Probably. In my head, I'm thinking I'm doing the same thing. Like with a swing, But if someone was recording your swing every time you did it, you look back and think, oh, actually, maybe I just lifted my head here, or maybe my grip wasn't as it should be. You know, it's a strong grip or it's a weak grip. And I think sometimes in trading, you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again, but there's little variances that you don't do. So going back to the sports trading things, and we've moved on, we've come full circle. But was there ever something that you've done, like I know that you said previously that you would look at it and think you wouldn't change what you did. Is there ever a time where you would like self-analyze your trades and think, actually, I didn't do that, same way that you would do your golf?
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to what I was discussing earlier. Process and discipline are the key. And if you have a bad day in the office, but you've done everything right, you've got to be patting yourself on the back. You don't want to change a bad process. I mean, the disciplined trader will be looking at opportunities, looking at risk reward, and say, okay, the reward is better than the risk. I'm going to go into that. And you can have let's say you have 5 trades in a day, and you lose all of them. You've got to have the confidence to say, okay, I've done everything right.
Yeah,
I've done everything right. I'm going to do it again. And the analogy with golf is you'll probably have a setup before you hit a shot. And something will probably go through your mind in terms of what you want to do, and it will be consistent. You want to just stay consistent to that. If you go and set up for a shot in golf, and you're thinking differently to your process, then you're opening up the possibility of error. And a bit like you would have got a trading plan and a process in place. If you think, okay, well, it hasn't worked for the last 5 times, I've got to do something different, and then I think that's dangerous. I mean, obviously, your process over time will get more and more refined as you get better as a trader. You get to know yourself as a trader, but yeah, it's just having that discipline to stick to the rules that you're setting yourself.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And one of the best pieces of golf advice that I actually took into my trading was, so the golf advice was when I had a coach. So I did pay for lessons and things. So if my golf club's watching, I don't. But and it was like, don't flag hunt, right? So don't always try to hit the flag. Look for greens, bigger parts of the greens, or if you aiming for fairways and hit for that better part of the fairways. Like, try to play and think in your head when you're hitting. If I don't hit a correct shot, then my worst shot needs to leave me in a good position. So that was the type of mentality that I had with golf. And when I first started trading, I didn't apply any of that knowledge. But now it's when I don't go for home runs in trading. So I look for, where are average areas that I can get in on a trade and get out and be profitable, rather than looking for them home runs, like looking for holding and trying to make that $1 million trade in 15 minutes. So I think the reason why I continuously bring up golf is because I do love it and I do love trading, but there are very similarities in terms of the attitude that you apply to both the sport and the trading, which I think are very, which has helped me. So when I speak to people in the same situation, golfing and trading, I'm always interested to see if they can see the similarities as well.
100%. I think golf is actually a very good analogy, because you have a situation whereby you've got father versus son, yeah, and the son will just go for the glory. He will go for that flag, yeah, and there might be a bunker in between him and that flag, whereas the old man, the wily old man, yeah, he will go for the apron of the green. He'll say, okay, I'm just going to get it on there. I've got so much margin for error, but I know I'm going to get down in 2. And if you just look at the risk reward, the son, if he nails it, okay, he wins the hole. But the father knows that the son is going to land it in the bunker, or he's going to be in a worse position because of his shot, that him getting down in two, he, on average, will win the trade.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
I think it is a good analogy. You know, everything we do in life is a risk. Getting out of bed in the morning is a risk, and you kind of weighing everything up. But
that's why I trade from bed.
I don't disbelieve that either. I don't disbelieve that. I reckon you actually do just wake up with your laptop on your bare chest. Your wife's looking after your children, and there's Dan taking trades. That's what I think.
Life easier. And don't get me wrong, I don't dislike golf. I just suck at it. I'm bad. That's it. But I can't get out to the golf course because I'd be hanging out with you two people, and then within 15 minutes, you guys would be like, "I just drive the cart around or something." Like, get out of here. Like, I'd be so new, and then I'd be with experience. So I got to find some new players to play with. But also in the same form of the analogy that you guys gave, which I think is absolutely spot on. I think there's also a little bit of perseverance to it. So like somebody like myself, brand new to golf, right? If I get out on the golf course, I know I'll never be as good as either of you guys if I go out one time and I give it a shot. I'm driving the golf cart in 15 minutes. And I think there's some kind of perseverance you need to continue. I mean, even you see like Tiger Woods out there or some of the greatest players still out there practicing, still playing. And you don't see, well, Tiger Woods is getting a little older now, but you don't see them winning consistently every single time. Once you become great, that's it. You're always learning something new about yourself, and you could give up at any time, but you'll never get to the end goal. So from my perspective of just mentoring traders and teaching some of the groups, I see a lot of traders that go in, like Dean said, trying to make $1 million in 15 minutes. It doesn't work out, and they just shrug their shoulders, put their head down, and just walk away. And they're just like, "Hey, yeah, I'm a bad trader," right? And it's just that perseverance to kind of continue to keep going.
The problem that we live in this day and age, everyone wants everything here and now.
Yep.
People want. We live in such a consumerist world that you know people just want things to happen now. That people come into trading and think, okay, I can go now. I can start making money. It does not happen like that. It's a refined skill. It's a skill. It's a skill that can be learned, but it takes time to learn it well. As a regulated entity in the UK, we have to disclose how many people lose money on a quarterly basis. And it ranges from 55%, I think that's as low as it's been, but it goes up to sort of 85%. And you know, people say to me, how do you feel comfortable? How do you feel comfortable that so many people are losing money? And we're providing them the best environment to succeed. In our view, that's what we're building TradeNation about. But let's just look at the 15%, the 20% that actually make money. What are they doing differently to the ones that don't make money? And you know what? You've hit the nail on the head. Is their attitude towards it. If you are going to trade, this is, if I can give advice to the people listening, if you're going to trade, you don't do it half-heartedly. You either do it properly, you do your work, and you stick at it, or I'd be reluctant to get involved. If you do it properly, then you've got every opportunity. I compare it to a normal business. If let's say the world of commerce had to put a percentage up for a number of businesses that succeed or fail, what percentage of businesses would fail in the first year? And it would not surprise me if it's over 90%.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a trader and you're serious about your trading and you want to make it a business, what would you do if it's a business? You have a business plan. You go through and you go through the steps to have a successful business, and for me, that's what you need to do if you want to be in that percentage of the winning clients, winning traders.
Yep. And I think I do think anybody has the ability to trade. Like I asked before, do you think you're born with the discipline, or is it something developed? I agree. I think for myself as well, it's developed. I think a lot of what I implement into trading is developed. I don't think I was born with much to compare with probably some of the other great traders or great people at whatever you do. But I learn it over and over again and just keep on practicing it. And I think any trader needs really, and even in golf. I mean, Dean, you said you got a coach to get out there and teach you on the golf course. How far do you think personally that progress exceeded your game?
Massively, because the coach has obviously been through years of experience to get to his level. So it's like I've shortcutted that and hacked his knowledge. He could give me some quick tips. And if I'm honest, he taught me this one thing with my wrist, Andy, it's just to soften up my wrist. And it took like 3 shots off my next round. And I don't know if that's like, if you've learned a new skill set and you're excited to deploy that, and that's how that happened. But it took like, I was amazed by how, because I was terrible at hooking. So I used to have to position myself, right? So I would literally hit it and it would bend round to go where I want it to go. He taught me something with my wrist in like session 2. And now I had the opposite effect. So I had to make it more straight. So I think that's why I know a lot of people are very skeptical when it comes to paying for coaches or paying for mentors. It's like, I'll just learn it myself, which people can. However, if you want to learn it faster, then I would always recommend coaching, mentoring, because you can just get there quicker. You can shave off time. And that was always important for me, shaving off time. So, and I'm not trying to promote our coaching sessions. Don't get coaches with me. I haven't got the time on the golf course. Ask Dan. Dan's a better coach than me. Get some coaching sessions with Dan.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. But yeah, so if you're out golfing, I'm sure there's... Say that again?
You can iron out bad habits before they become habits.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think like if you want to golf, right, probably getting some education, learning how to play, learning the rules, learning what to do, softening up the wrist, all that goes into it, and then having the tools to, like, if you show up and you have all the knowledge, but you don't have the golf clubs, it's gonna be tough to play golf too. So even on the trading, it's the education. I think you need the like Andy has TradeNation. You're going to need some kind of broker to place the orders. You're going to need some kind of education to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. I guess, Andy, what would be, if somebody's new to trading or maybe they have a broker already, what should a trader, in your opinion, look for in a broker that you think would work better for a retail trader, or something that to them is something that would be a good tool to have in the broker?
What to look for? I mean, I think you want to look for your costs of trading. I think just be careful where you're trading and make sure you're aware of the costs of trading. There can be some very complicated platforms out there. There's brokers with all the bells and whistles, and you get a bit confused as to what you're supposed to be doing. I would suggest to a newbie trader getting started that you want to look for a platform that is pretty easy to use. The fundamentals of trading, or what you need for a platform, are not too. They're not too complicated, but they can be made complicated if you end up on the wrong platform. So I would certainly do your research on pricing. It goes without saying, please trade whichever broker you trade with someone that is properly regulated, because having lost my money with various sports companies, that's a horrible feeling. So please make sure that you trade with a regulated broker. But yeah, I would say ease of use, platform, and the cost of trading.
Yeah, and I think what you said before too, with the fact that people want to talk to somebody on the phone, the customer service, I think, is absolutely huge in having a broker. I have multiple brokers. One which as I'm on the mic moderating the markets and stuff like that throughout the day, I still have them, I still use them, but everybody knows, like, I'm like, this is the worst broker ever. Like, it's not, they're not, they're not designed for like day trading, and I rarely use them for that, but I'll get into a day trade here and there on them, and it just, they don't have like OCO orders, they don't have like, they're meant to buy, hold, sell later or something like that. You can't even, so it's not really meant for it, at least anymore. They used to be, but they also have a banking division. They also have auto loans. They also have a few different areas. So when you call customer service, not only do I have to wait on the hold music, but then I have to go through 6 departments just to get to the broker. That's number one. And then I have another broker, which is widely used by a lot of people here in the U.S. And I think everybody can tell you, like, you call their customer service, they're quick to answer, but the person on the phone just has no idea what they're like. If you ask them a question, like a simple question, like a day one trader will probably know, and they're just it's like you called a pizza place instead. It's completely different.
Yeah. But I presume that you don't call them down because
I dread it. Sometimes I have to. On occasion, I have to call these people, but I dread it. I'm profusely sweating before I call them. I know it's not going to go well, but yeah, I would say, I mean, customer service, I think, is absolutely huge. So, somebody that you could call, ask questions to, especially to newer traders that need it, the extra hand holding, extra support. I think that's a huge benefit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's something that I'd like to think that we provide in Oodles and Noodles. So I think it's important that there's a person at the end of the phone, or there's a person who can pick up queries and help you through it. 100% agree.
Awesome. Well, we are just about out of time. Dean, did you have any last minute questions? Anything else?
No. Just when Andy's going to come out here and have a game of golf, we'll get it recorded and we'll have a bet. As he likes to bet on sports, and see who wins.
I'm sure we're going to be having a bet, Dean. You're talking about your coach saying he's just touched me and I've taken 3 shots. I mean, you're probably a plus golfer, aren't you? But no, I'm looking forward to the day. I'd love to come out and get a few people playing golf. We'll make sure we get that organised.
Brilliant, appreciate it. Andy, thanks for coming on. An absolute pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope I didn't go off track too much, but many thanks, Dan. Many thanks, Dean.
Absolutely. Appreciate having you here, Andy. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we got Andy Murray with TradeNation. Thanks again for joining us each and every week for the Real Life Trading Pivot Podcast, and we will see you guys on another episode next week.